I would normally, I'd booked a holiday in Europe this year, actually. I was going to go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Barcelona, Malta, Dubai, and here I am stuck here. So it's not the holiday I had planned, but I must admit that I've had a good time. The kids have been really, really good. We've put up a pool downstairs for them, and they've been in that every day. We're lucky where we are because we can walk around the track, and up until they close the beaches down, we're able to go to the beach, and the owners have kindly lent us their boats a few times, so we've been out on them as well. And, if the restaurant's still open for lunch, we've been able to go out and have something to eat. It hasn't been too bad. Like I said, it's been much better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, no, you do notice, but like I said, I grew up in the country where they'd get 2 or 3 people at the races. So it just feels like I've gone back to where I all started. And, it's nice to have the fans at the races, but it has also been nice and refreshing in some ways to have it different. It makes us appreciate how much support we do have, and we can't wait until they come back to the races. Every week, it's part of what we need to do here. So I would say at least Monday, Thursday, and most probably Friday nights of the week, I'm going out for dinner with owners, and that just it's reflective of how successful you are, because whenever you ride a winner, they want to catch up and have dinner and celebrate. So the more often I'm out, the better I'm going. It's good on one part because it means you're being successful, and it means that they want to spend time with you, and they want to spoil you and make you feel appreciative. But it's hard on another aspect that I am a jockey, and the biggest thing I have to worry about in my life is my weight. So it makes me deviate away from what my normal diet would be to a certain extent, but I just need to be sensible and disciplined when I go out. But, it is great going out and meeting these owners because they're very successful in what they have done in their lives, and I've learned a lot from them. I use it as a good opportunity to pick their brain and ask them, what sort of things they've done in their lives, what they've been successful at. And most often, it's not the first thing that they've tried in their life. They've done a number of other things that haven't been successful, but they kept turning up, they kept working hard, they kept believing in themselves until they found the right opportunity. And it was that one opportunity that has allowed them to get to where they are. And I think that's true with everyone all over the world. It doesn't matter what industry you are in. Nothing is going to click straight off the bat. You need to continue to front up and work hard, and hopefully at the end of the day, you do find that one thing that gets you to where you want to be. It makes me realise that you shouldn't be scared to fail. You shouldn't be scared to have a go at something. Everyone has an idea, and everyone also has an opportunity to put that idea into practice, but most people don't follow through with it. Some people follow through half-assed and end up failing, but the ones that really go at it and put everything into it are the ones that are successful. And, what does that mean for me when I retire? Well, it's given me some ideas. I want to play more golf when I get back home, but I don't want to have a job that I need to be there every day. I don't want to be in an office. I don't want a 9-to-5 job. I don't want any of that. So I want something that gives me freedom to still be able to enjoy my life. And if I want to get on a plane and go to Europe for a month, I can. But one thing I am interested in is real estate, and I wouldn't mind going into small property developments. But I would need to surround myself with the right people to be able to go into that, because it's not an industry I understand as well as other people. But I've got good friends that work in that industry, and I'm going to lean on them until I'm comfortable enough to stand on my own 2 feet. But, life is about surrounding yourself with the right people and successful people. And I feel like I've got a good enough team, if I can call it that, to be able to guide me through those early steps until I can stand on my own 2 feet. I was always very good at sport, whatever I played, whether it was tennis, cricket, soccer as we call it at home, little athletics, anything I did I was good at. So I was a natural athlete. and a natural sportsman. Well, say soccer. Everyone else was growing in it, and I was staying small. And I had a couple of injuries in the last couple of seasons I was playing. I did the ligaments in both knees and both ankles, and I spent too much time on the sidelines. So I was starting to look at maybe something else I could do that I wasn't going to pick up as many injuries. And I always liked horses from a very early age. My parents have got photos of me, actually, when they had a farm when I was born, of me as a young baby laying on a horse's back. So maybe the seed was sown way back then, but we moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I didn't always have access to a pony. But when I had friends that did have that pony, I always wanted to go to their house and bounce up and down on it. And it wasn't until I was 14 that I decided that I wanted to be a jockey. And at that stage, I actually had to learn how to ride properly. So we found someone at Woolgoolga, which is near Coffs Harbour, and he used to teach me in the banana plantations up in the hills. And I used to ride an Arab who had a free spirit and a strong will, and he wasn't easy to stay on, but I managed to do a fairly good job. And then from there, I had to progress onto the race horses and riding in the style that we do, in the small saddles, and perched more up over top of the horses. But at that stage, I was too small. I was 27 kilos when I was 14 and a half when I first walked into a stable. So I just physically wasn't strong enough to hold the race horses at that time. So I had to go to the gym and bulk up and try and get bigger and eat a lot. And by the time I was 17, I'd worked my way up to a position where I could go to the races. Has anything changed? Probably not. Maybe I control things a little bit better these days, but I had a strong will when I was a kid. And I think that just it was reflective of the background I grew up with. My parents were fairly easygoing, and, you know, I was allowed to have a lot of freedom. Even when I had my pony, I'd jump on him on the weekend, and this is the day before we had mobile phones. And I would just take off, and I would be gone all day. They'd have no idea where I was. I'd be riding up in the hills, through the state forest, across other people's properties, going down to the beach, all that sort of stuff. And I just had the freedom to do whatever I could. And then when I become an apprentice, all of a sudden I had all these rules, and not just from my boss, it was from the stewards and the racing authorities and everyone. And I wasn't used to having someone tell me what to do all the time. So I struggled with that a little bit. But as time's gone on, obviously I've learned to accept that, and, you know, I abide by all the rules, and I try and do the right thing. And, you know, I've come a long way, but I still have that fresh spirit, or that will to want to put my wings out and glide in the breeze, if you want to put it that way. We get along all right now. Obviously, as you say, it was a very frosty, I wouldn't even call it a relationship. We didn't have a relationship at all. But it was a very frosty camaraderie we had. And, you know, not a lot has changed, but he's a trainer now. And he understands, as a trainer, you want to put the best jockeys on because they make the least amount of mistakes. And therefore, you're possibly going to get the most amount of results. And me being a jockey, I'm happy to ride for anyone. It doesn't matter if Douglas trains a horse, or John Size, or John Moore, Aidan O'Brien. It doesn't matter. If that horse can win, I want to ride it. And, you know, that's business at the end of the day. Yeah, I think obviously you need to find that balance in your life. Your kids are very important, and most of the time they're the most important person. And, you know, when you come home, it doesn't matter if you had a good or a bad day, they're always there with a smile on their face, and they're happy to see us. And, you know, I've had to learn to divide my time up a little bit better. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to be able to go to everything with them when they go to their sport, whether it's, you know, the soccer or the music or the arts or whatever they do. I need to prioritise getting my weight right to be able to ride at the race meetings and doing the form to be able to do my job properly. But when my time allows, obviously, incorporating them into things we do. And sometimes they come out for dinner with us, with the owners as well. And they enjoy that, of course. It's all about keeping them entertained and occupied as well. Well, I have idols that I follow and I look up to. Obviously, Tiger Woods in golf and Rory McIlroy as well. They're probably my two favourite players out there in golf because they're the best at what they do. I gravitate towards the best. Whoever's at the top of the tree, I admire their talent, their skill. They're probably other golfers that are far better people than they are, but they don't win as many tournaments as they do, and they don't strike the ball as well as they do. So I think I admire athletes for their ability and their ability to, rise above their competitors. But Lewis Hamilton, you mentioned, yeah, he's on a plant-based diet, as I am most of the time as well. So I picked that up, not off him initially, but I did find out that he was on it after I'd started it. I have one goal for this season. There's one thing. There's only two things left in Hong Kong that I haven't done that I may be able to do. And one of them is ride the most amount of winners in Hong Kong. So Douglas White holds that record. It's 1,800 winners, maybe 1,817, whatever the number is. I'm not sure. I can't remember what I'm on. I think I might be on 1,200 or 1,250, maybe 1,300. I might be on 1,300. I'm not sure. But anyway, about 1,200, we'll say. So I'm going to need to stay here a few more years if I'm going to get to the 1,800 winners. If I ride 130 out of 150 winners a year, it's easy to work that out. But the one thing that I can do is surpass him for the most prize money won by a jockey in Hong Kong. And I'm only about 200 million behind him. So if I can have another good season this season, well, I will hopefully go past that benchmark, and then I'll be able to tell him that I've earned more money than him as well. No, I don't, unfortunately. And I'm sitting here scratching my head thinking, what horses am I going to ride in the international coming up this year? Because I don't have a sprinter and I don't have a horse for the Cup at the moment. So I have Beauty Generation in the mile. Hopefully he's going to come back and do what he has been doing. And I have Exalt in the Vase. So they're our previous two horse of the years. So they're good rides to have. Although they're getting a little bit older now. They're both going to be 8, I think, 7 or 8. Well, Beauty might be 8 and Exalt might be 7, or they could both be 8. Don't quote me on that, although you're going to put this up. But, they're getting older, so the younger generation is coming through. And unfortunately, I don't really have much there. I was hoping Athero was going to be the next best sprinter for me, but unfortunately, he had a bad bleed last season and didn't quite fulfill his promise, but he's still here. He's still racing. He might be able to take that next step. But I don't have any new, young, exciting horses that I think are going to get to that level. Oh, there are so many horses around the world that I would love to ride. But one horse that I've admired a lot over the last few years is Armandite from Japan. I just love her. I've got one of her jackets, actually, and I wear it sometimes to track work. And I wear it proudly. She's a fantastic horse. I know how hard it is to win a race in Japan. And for her to stand head and shoulders above her opposition, she's a machine. I got to race against her in Dubai, so I've seen her in the flesh, and she's nothing flash to look at. She's small, she's wiry, but she can run. Yeah, if I was in the UK to be enabled, I'd love to ride her. She's a sweetheart. That's a great thing about racing, though. It pulls people from all walks of life in together. And it doesn't matter if you're Sheikh Mohammed or Hans Ebert, you can meet up on the racetrack against each other and go head to head. Well, Dada Minico is the best Italian in Hong Kong, but by far.